Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us this Monday afternoon here on the Greyhawk channel for the Brenton Files Monsters and Myths. I'm Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hens. I use he, him pronouns, and I am very excited to be back after our little hiatus last week. I was out of the country and had technical and health issues. It was really just not a great week for us to stream, but we are, most of us, back. Unfortunately, we are short one this week. We will miss Ismail very much, but Zephyr will quietly tag along and heal as necessary today. Let's go ahead and go around and introduce the rest of the crew today, starting with... let's go with Alicia. I just realized that nobody can hear you, Alicia, so hold on one second. Once again, I forgot. Clearly I'm out of practice and forgot to switch to this device. All right, they should be able to hear you now, I think. Give it a go, Alicia.
I'm Alicia. I play level Retro. We both use she, her pronouns. And she just wants to get along with people and make some money. Is that so much to ask?
Apparently it is. Apparently it is. All right, let's head over to Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I use he, they pronouns. I play Merrick, the wonderful tiefling conjurer. They use they, them pronouns. And plot twist, they're not wonderful. They're kind of a jerk.
Plot twist. Emily!
Hi, I'm Emily. I use she. I like how you put that, Kyle. I use she, they pronouns. I play Zenda, who also uses she, they pronouns. Zenda is pretty much like me, a Sagittarius who's really just looking to have a good time, by any means necessary, and is a little bit lost in how to do that in a safe way.
That's a good way to put it. I love it. I love everything about it. All right. Well, and then we, of course, have Ismael Alvarez, who normally plays Zephyr. Both he and his character use he, him pronouns. Zephyr is some sort of Ganassi, right? It's terrible.
That's Lambeau.
Oh, that's Lambeau. I don't know what you're... Oh, he's a half-elf. That's right. Half-elf bard. Oh, man, y'all. I just know you're all half things, except for Zenda, who misunderstood.
Fraction faction.
That's right. And then Zenda, who sort of misunderstood the call and thought that halfling was close enough. We've never really talked about that, but I'm glad that we finally had the opportunity to point it out, because I really enjoyed it. All right.
But it wasn't Zenda who misunderstood. It was Emily who misunderstood.
Tomato, tomato. All right, I'm going to do my best to mute my microphone on OBS whenever I'm coughing into it, so y'all don't have to listen to me do that, but I apologize because I'm going to forget sometimes. Let's move on. So, who wants to give us a recap from 2 weeks ago? I should make Emily do it.
I feel like Alicia should, because I tried to do it for Emily before the game, and it was not good. It was really bad.
A recap of the.
Okay, I'm sure whatever she said was very clever. Alicia, do you want to give us a recap?
Sure, absolutely. So, recap of session 6. There were a couple of we encountered Dr. Felix Orvid, and Zephyr tried to have a nice talk with the man, and then Dr. Orvid turned out to be a jerk, so Lambeau may have magic missiled him when he was not expecting it. And then combat ensued. There were some clockwork centipede monsters, 2 Frankenstein monsters, and the doctor ended up being killed by Lambeau and Zenda, if I remember correctly. I think Zenda got the finishing blow. Lambeau procured his lab coat for research, and we all booked it out of the house. Then Merrick made sure it burned down. We got some sleep, and Minifay came and woke us up just like, why did you? I'm not gonna try and do the accent. Why didn't you tell me what happened? So then we gave her the magic blueprint that told him how to make monsters. Because we're like, well, there's 2 types writing on here. There's Dr. Orvid's, and clearly is one that's not. And so we're just like, he must have made a contract or something. We don't know what it is. So she spent weeks. It was a lot of time.
Yeah, maybe like a week, a little bit more, maybe like 10 days.
There we go. Yeah, so like the lessons have 2 weeks translated, and she finds just like losing sleepovers. Like, aha, I got it. And she dropped some things on there. The arcane writing showed up with the contract because there was abjuration, illusion, and transmutation magic on the parchment. There's equip it. Get the scope. Oh, golem schematics. That's what it was. There we go. Well, we also got some silver, so we still got paid for this job.
Yes, you did, in your way.
That's the important part. I think we left out when we were still in mini phase.
Yes, about to find out what the contract entailed. Yes. And so that is where we will find our heroes in just a moment. But before we get started, I want to quickly thank some of our awesome sponsors and supporters that we have here on the Greyhawk channel. First and foremost, we want to, of course, thank all of you who have subscribed either here to the channel or on our Patreon at patreon.com/thegreyhawk channel. We so appreciate all of your support for all of the many, many shows and programming things that we do here on the Greyhawk channel. Next, we want to thank Roll20. It's very sad that our friend Ismail is not here, but that freed up a box for us to put our rolls for those of us who are using Roll20. Which means everyone but Kyle, in the chat, so you'll be able to see our rolls as we roll them. It's going to be very, very exciting. You can try out the services of Roll20 at roll20.net for free. We also have an official battle map sponsor. Heroic Maps has more than 300 maps available on the Drive-Thru RPG site, so go check those out. We are sponsored by Tabletop Loot. You can go to tabletoploot.com and use the coupon code Greyhawk for 15% off your dice order. And last but most certainly not least, we want to thank Devin Rue and Cantrip Candles for both of their supports. You can check out their websites and what they have to offer. Ooh, thanks for subscribing. Oh, it's Kyle. You can check out their websites at rueinc, that's rueink.com, and cantripcandles.com. Also, finally, you may have noticed that there are some bars at the bottom of the screen. We have a summer season subscriber goal, and it looks like we are at 346. We are so close to hitting that goal. So if you haven't followed the channel yet, go up to the top of the screen, click on the little heart button, and follow us. We have our stream boss. As people donate to the channel, you do damage to the stream boss. If you are the one that kills the stream boss, you become the stream boss for the next round. So do that. Also, we have Divine Favor. As we get closer and closer to our Divine Favor goal, once we hit it, the cast will get buffs and cool options like auto succeeds, natural 20s, and things of that nature. All right. Oh, thanks for Ever Charmed. I see now for the gift to Kyle for the sub. We appreciate it.
It's special.
Oh. All right, so that's enough of the housekeeping. Lambeau has given us a wonderful recap of what is going on. So let's hop back in. So you are in Minifae's shop, and you see that she has, as Lambeau said, dripped some things onto the back of this parchment, and writing has begun to appear. She sort of spreads the mixture that she dripped on there across the parchment. You can smell the faint smell of brimstone sort of burning in the air as more of the writing is revealed. Much of this writing is in a language that Merrick reads. Right? You read Infernal.
I believe so.
Great.
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. So you can read most of it. If anyone else who reads Infernal, who doesn't read Infernal, rather, you can get a few words here and there. You can see obvious names of places and things like that. But most of it is in Infernal. So, hey, thanks for the sub, Forever Charmed, for yourself. I love it. Excellent. Minifae apparently also reads Infernal because she is voraciously devouring the text upon the screen. Merrick, you can do that as well if you would like.
Yes.
I can't remember if Zephyr did comprehend languages or not.
So he absolutely would if he hasn't. So he would definitely do that as well. So, as the three of you sort of read through it, Merrick, why don't you give me an intelligence investigation check, and Zephyr will do the same investigation. Okay, well, Zephyr is very concerned by the smell of brimstone in the room and only gets a cursory glance at the contract. Oh, I should do it for Minifae as well.
I rolled a 12.
A 12, and Minifae got a 15. All right. Merrick, you read through the contract, don't notice anything terribly out of the ordinary. Infernal contracts tend to be actually pretty straightforward for the most part. You know, we take your soul upon death, and in the meantime, we give you knowledge, power, etc., etc. This one in particular does request both knowledge and power. The knowledge for how to, excuse me, for how to handle elemental reanimation as opposed to necromancy reanimation, and then the power of protection and of the elements, in particular of the lightning element. That is sort of the gist of what the exchange is. Minnie Fey, however, sort of lingers over the contract a bit longer, and she keeps sort of muttering things like, interesting, things like that. And she finally is able, once she's gone over it a few times, she's able to point out a few irregularities about the contract to you all. One is that there are quite a few more stipulations on the infernal side of things. Usually it's, we'll give you this stuff and then we get your soul. But there are a few more stipulations on the infernal side of things here than one might expect. 3 stipulations in particular stand out to Minnie Fey. One of them is that all of the preparatory work that the signatory one, Dr. Ovid, would be doing was to be conducted in the town of Brenton, and Brenton is called out by name in this contract. Another is that any and all preparatory work must take place over a period of a minimum of 6 months. So there was a set minimum of time that Dr. Ovid was expected to spend in Brenton. And the third is odd in particular because Minnie Fey sort of has to go over it, and she actually asks both Merrick and Zephyr to double check her translation, because she's never seen anything like this before. But there is a clause that says that throughout the course of Dr. Ovid's stay in Brenton and throughout the course of his preparatory experiments, he was to always keep something called the agreement crystal on the premises at all times.
I have never heard of an agreement crystal.
No.
That's what it says.
Neither have I. For the most part, it is usually the contract itself that serves as the binding part, the binding item in the agreement. There is, as far as I have ever seen, no need for external anything, accoutrement of any sort.
Does it say what the agreement crystal is, or just say agreement crystal?
No, nothing. That's what's so strange about it. It seems to have been mentioned as if it were a matter of course. It is simply referred to in this one clause here, and she points to the clause where it is. And now that you sort of are looking a little more closely at the individual clauses, you see that, yeah, it literally just says signatory is to keep the agreement crystal on the premises at all times during experimentation period. Hey, thanks for the follow, King Bazardo. What a great name. I love it.
Are crystals generally used to house things or to strengthen magical work?
Yeah, they are they conduct magic. Oh, that's a great freeze frame. I love that one.
Me too. Let's see if I can get a screenshot of it before she comes back. Yeah, I got it. Go on, Merrick.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
But you are in a pose.
Oh, okay. Cool.
They are used to conduct magic in most scenarios. Without knowing exactly what the agreement crystal is, it would appear that the entity that this being was or is that signed with Orvid was taking advantage of Orvid in some way, either using this, I'm speculating here, either using this experimentation to power something further, to provide a conduit that the being may enter our plane. I do not know. Minnie Fey, Zephyr, any other input?
No, you hit the nail pretty close to the head. Crystals can be used for all manner of magical conduction. It is... I would think it is unlikely that the crystal was housing something in particular in this case. It seems more likely it was some sort of a channel. It was perhaps a part of some sort of binding spell, forcing Ovid to do the bidding of the contract. Although, again, the contract itself should have taken care of that. Perhaps it was a conduit to something larger. It's hard to say without the crystal itself.
But Orvid was not stupid by any means. He was a very smart individual, so I doubt he would have agreed to have this crystal if without knowing what it is. He knew what it did.
One would think it's devils are clever and wily creatures. It is possible that he did not know the extent of it, but I would agree with your assessment. He was a smart man. He had some idea about what it was. Yeah.
Well, perhaps we should check the ruins of the house and see if we can find something that might be this crystal.
Great. I second.
I did check them already, but yes, I wasn't looking for a crystal exactly, so I assume I missed it. That is, if this creature or some other creature in consorts with Orvid did not gather it already. But yes, let's go look for this agreement crystal.
More eyes for the prize.
I think it is a good idea. In the meantime, I will stay here and see if there's anything that I have missed in the contract, whether or not everything has been revealed, and perhaps do a bit of research into agreement crystals. See if there's anything I can dig up.
I will once again leave Lazarus outside the window to watch this bitch.
You're so paranoid.
I don't trust her. She always has this contract on her. She's looking at it by herself without anyone else here. And she's like, I'm going to look for other things. Blah, blah, blah. You are the demon, I promise.
What's the worst that could happen? It's fine. It's fine.
There's a lot of things that could happen.
As you all are heading out, she says, Marik, why don't you just have Lazarus stay inside with me this time? He looked uncomfortable on the branch last time. She gives you a smile.
Ooh. Bye, Miss Minnie.
Sure. If you need anything, talk to Lazarus. I won't be listening.
She was about to thank you and then was like, wait. Oh, man. All right. So she nods, somewhat confused, and you all can head to the ruins of the house. So that way you head, and, you know, it's not smoking anymore. It's been plenty of time. You can see little bits of evidence that nature is beginning to reclaim the land. Nothing like a good cleansing fire to get the underbrush growing again. Yeah, some critters have started to sort of make little burrows and homes, and it's, but otherwise it looks, you know, doesn't look like the townspeople have come to mess with it at all. You know, word has spread. How true some of those words are is, you know, up for debate, but some rumors have begun to spread that something nasty went down out here, so mostly the people of Brenton have avoided the ruins of the manor house. So as you all search through it, I will take, I'll take Wisdom Perception or Intelligence Investigation as you look around, because we all know this the Wisdom party. So I'll take either as you look around to try and find any evidence of the agreement crystal. Hey, Investigation 18 for Lambeau. Not bad, not bad.
Investigation 24 for Mary.
And Investigation Natural 1 for Zenda.
It's gonna be one of those shows, I think.
Y'all, last night I had a massive combat with the game that I run on Sunday nights, and I did not roll above a 10 for 4 rounds of combat, and then I had 4 Shadarkai elves that were all rolling like 3 beams of Eldritch Blast, so it was 4 times. It was 12 Eldritch Blast beams. I rolled natural 20s on 6 of them. nearly killed the party after not rolling above a 10 for, like, hours. So, the point being, luck can turn, Zenda. You gonna be good. Just not right now. Alright, so, Lambeau and Merrick, you search through, you sort of, the two of you, Zenda, we're going to come back to you because I want to know what it is that you're doing with that natural one. But Lambeau and Merrick, you two are able to sort of remember the layout of the house and sort of get an idea for where different rooms might have sort of generally been within the rubble. And you split up and look around. Merrick, you find a sort of metallic, very fine metal housing, like a little stand almost. And you can see with that 24, you can see around the edges where whatever this thing housed, whatever it held was sitting. You can see that it when the object was removed, like it must have scraped up against the edges of a little bit, and there is the finest little dusty reddish residue of something that was left behind. But whatever this housing held is no longer there, and as you sort of take that little dust between your fingers and sort of examine it, you think it might be some sort of precious stone or crystal that this thing might have held. But other than that, that's all you all find. You all can also find throughout the course of picking through, because both of you rolled pretty well, a total of 14 gold in various coinages throughout the rubble of the house.
Footsies. Wait, how do I do that?
So yeah, those are the fruits of your investigations.
Lambeau, come look at this.
Oh. That's weird. Now I'm wondering, as an Earth Genasi, would Lambeau perhaps be more familiar with precious stones? Because you try and make a guess as to what it is.
Yeah, I like that. Go ahead and do, what sort of intelligence are you good at? Nature, history, any of those? Investigation I would take too, I guess.
Investigation would be the best.
Okay, so we'll take investigation and go ahead and do it with advantage because it's dealing with Earth Genasi Earth stuff.
21.
I'll take that. 21. Yes, this definitely seems like it was some sort of precious stone, possibly a ruby, which is now make me an intelligence arcana check. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Well. No, okay. It might be.
It do advantage on that
not on this one. It looks like it might be a ruby. That much you do know. Might be. And you also, I will say, with that check, you also can tell that this housing is adamantine. Like, it is some fancy shit. You sort of had an idea that it would have to be something really strong to have scraped off ruby dust, right? Because rubies are fairly hard as well. So this is some fancy ass metal that held a fancy ass stone.
Right. Oh, well, someone sure must have spent a pretty penny on this. It's like ruby dust and adamantine for the housing. That's weird. Huh. I'm thinking maybe that crystal thing might have been here. Maybe.
And like I suspected, someone has already taken it.
Merrick, since Lambeau did say out loud that it was a ruby, why don't you make me an intelligence arcana check as well?
Maybe 14?
Advantage because Lambeau's helping?
Lambeau already made her check. Ruby is good for... is a good magical conduit or channel crystal in particular. It's very rarely used for containment or binding or things like that. And it doesn't usually sort of enhance elemental powers in particular, because you know that's what Ovid was up to. But that's sort of the only thing that rings any bells for you for rubies.
So, this was a ruby, a stone that is typically used for channeling magical energies. Looking at it was on its pedestal to hold it in place. The other parts of the contract specified that Ovid had to be in Brenton for a minimum of 6 months, and that this stone had to be here with him. So, my word I'm looking for, a hypothesis, is that this stone in this city for however long was meant to open something or do something to the surrounding area that the creature in question wanted. And it has been, I would assume, 6 months since that happened, and they collected the stone to do whatever they need to do. So I believe that we are chasing an end game here.
That might explain that malevolent presence that was felt when the house burning down. I can't remember if it was Zephyr who felt that, or all of us, or I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I think it might have been
Zephyr.
Yeah, I think it might have been Zephyr.
Detect thoughts, and I don't.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think he mentioned it to us at all.
Oh, then never mind.
I don't think Merrick knew.
Well, those are two different statements that Merrick didn't know and Zephyr didn't mention. But anyway.
Well then.
Let's hop over to Zenda and see what poor Zenda is doing while the two of you are getting down to investigating.
Oh, so Zenda, where she was sort of just walking behind them, clearly not focused, sat down on a rock and pulled out her dagger and started cleaning her nails with it.
She didn't even try. I love everything about it.
Didn't even try. Then she was trying to see if she could balance small stones on the tip of her dagger, and throwing the dagger to try to see if she could knock a branch off of another branch by throwing. She's just working on her dexterity.
Oh my god, I love it. Make some sleight of hand checks, some dexterity sleight of hand checks. I don't know, let's say 3 of them and let's see how that little bit goes.
3 of them?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Well.
Oh.
I just pressed enter too soon.
Oh.
1.
Shit roll, but a good score because you got such a good bonus.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Ooh. Okay, so they all look pretty good. None of them end up falling and stabbing you in the face. One of them, the first one, is a little off balance, a little wobbly, but you get your shit together. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, good. I just had to go in and check because that natural one, obviously you were doing something else.
I didn't even try. Did not even give it a shot.
I love it. Zephyr has... he's being moody again. So, Merrick, anything else that you and Lambeau need to go over?
I like you said it again, as in when has Zephyr ever been moody?
Well, he was moody. Remember, he got real, quiet and withdrawn during the whole thing with Ren for a while.
Walking away and, disappearing on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Right, you're right.
Long strolls.
I take that back. I think because Merrick believes that someone took this stone after the fact, I think that now at this point they are specifically looking for any kind of sign of tracks up into this area where the stone was.
Interesting. Okay, make me a wisdom survival check for that.
Wow. Nope, that's enough.
We'll say Lambeau, since Lambeau is away. Or Zephyr is helping you, so go ahead and take advantage on it.
Sure, because that natural 2 was shut. Natural 20.
Oh, all right. Let's see. What do you find? You do see some tracks on sort of one edge of the rubble. Obviously, there's not a ton in the rubble that you're able to find, but sort of on the edge of the rubble, there are a few tracks that you do see, and you sort of notice them because you've got your head, your face bent very close to the ground, really examining, and you get a whiff of brimstone. And you see these tracks, and each of them sort of ever so faintly, because it's been weeks now, but even now there is the faintest smell of brimstone in these tracks, and they take a few steps away from the town. I cannot with you two. They take a few steps away from the town center and then vanish. or stop, I suppose, and vanish. The steps that you found are still anyway.
So it vanishes on the way to town center.
I know, away from the town center.
Away from town center. And it's not like I lost a trail. It's just that the tracks just stop. Like
yeah, the tracks just stop. Like it either. I mean, you're a wizard. They either flew, or they teleported, or they something.
Or they fly away, butterfly, fly away. Great, love that. Zenda, where'd you go?
Huh?
Where are you? What are you doing?
Zenda walks over, especially while you're face first in the ground, thoroughly examining the ground before them. What's up? What you doing down there? Or next to me?
We seem to have a lead, but not much of one. We have a lead without a lead.
A lead without a lead. Cool. I heard you guys saying something about ruby dust. Do we need to collect that? She pulls out a tiny vial. Should we collect it? Do we need it for like research?
Sure, it wouldn't hurt to have it. It's on that metal thing that Lambo's looking at.
Zenda goes over with her dagger, still out because why not, and scoops some of the red dust into the container.
We love prop comedy.
I love a prop.
Oh, this one loves prop comedy.
We saw that in the first episode.
Oh my god.
I love a prop moment.
Oh my god.
Well, I had an idea and I followed it, and now I am lost again and have no idea. So, it smells like brimstone, so I'm assuming the devil in question collected their stone. They left. They have tracks that lead to nowhere, where they either flew or teleported away, and now we are left again, following behind, trying to catch up with this person who is obviously more clever than us. Wonderful.
Why wouldn't they just teleport right from this spot? Why would they walk away and then teleport? Is there a reason they can't teleport right here?
Because Eugenio hates me.
It's a very confusing statement for Merrick to make.
And Zenda says, I don't know who that is.
I did.
But I bet you a lot more.
But somehow it wouldn't surprise me to know that someone hates you. Merrick hates Merrick, not you. Merrick, you said yourself he's an asshole. They're an asshole.
That's true.
You're right.
I just want them to like me.
Oh yeah, no, you do, Zenda. I know you
They
do.
first have to learn how to like themselves.
Ain't that the truth?
We're in for the long haul, folks. All right. One day we'll play Dungeons and Dragons on this show. We have a good time. All right. Anything else that we want to do over here at the ruins of the manor?
Alicia, you missed it. We found tracks from the stone, and then they wandered off towards the woods, away from town, and then they vanished with no trace. So we're SOL.
Cool. Okay, so.
Well, I guess that's what we got.
Mhm.
Does anybody have a teleportation tracker?
No, but I collected the ruby dust. Anything we can do with this?
She helpful.
I'm helpful.
Oh, well, thank you. We'll think of... I'm gonna take it.
Zenda looks very pleased with herself and starts walking back to
As
town.
well she should.
Ooh, Zephyr, can you do another detect magic? Oh, no, that's not Zephyr. Lambeau, can you do a detect magic in the area?
I can. I sure can.
Maybe that will provide some insight.
And Lambo will do.
Or maybe they'll waste some
Right.
spell slot.
Yes, she will do that. Yeah, she'll do that for freezies. Haha.
Yes, gotta love the at will. So you turn it on, and there's nothing in particular that you notice out here. There's a little bit of sort of generalized magic on the ruby dust, but I mean, it's just barely pinging. You can't even get a good school read off of it. In terms of like lingering magic from a teleport or some other spell from where the tracks that Merrick found end, nah, it's been too long.
That's fair. Well, no, I'm not really getting much of anything. I think it's been a little too long. Perhaps we should have told Minnie Faye about this sooner. Ah, well.
At the mention of Minnie Faye, I want to see what she's up to.
She's strangling Lazarus. No, I'm kidding.
Like,
she's sort of hunched over her desk, you know, looking, just reading over and over this contract, and she, like, you know, she's sort of taking a little break, and she's just rubbing her eyes and her temples, and sort of puts the contract aside and sighs and looks over to Lazarus, not knowing that you're watching at this point, and just sort of says, "Do you have any ideas?"
They throw their wings up in a shrug motion.
Well, I didn't think you would, but at this point I'm willing to take help from wherever I can get it.
I can't remember. Was there sort of library or place with the history of Brenton anywhere in Brenton?
Written history, the best thing that you're going to find is Minnie Faye, though she doesn't have a complete written history. You actually, the oldest person in town would be Old Lady Liza, who might be able to tell you stories, though she's not exactly the chatty type, but between Minnie Faye and Old Lady, between Minnie Faye's books and Old Lady Liza's oral history, if there's something particular you wanted to find out, you might be able to.
She's mostly going to try and look and see, okay, since this...
Oh, and Reese, duh. Reese was there when the town was founded, so Reese would know early stuff.
There we go. Yeah, she's trying to figure out, like, what's special, you know, what's the particular magical special thing about Brenton that might make me able to specify it had to be here.
Let's just pour the ruby dust on Reese and see what happens.
What now?
Zenda gets very excited at that thought.
Really funny. So you asking, who are you asking, Reese, then?
Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and ask Reese. So severe to make everybody lunch.
Oh, yes, and that's exactly what he does, bless his cotton socks. So, back to Haverton Manor you head. Reese is there. She is, as always, rather happy to see you all, and even more happy to talk about her family and the history of the town. She tells you that, you know, she has sort of begun to understand that she had some innate magic, which is how she did all the things that freaked her family out when she was a little girl. But other than that, and she didn't really understand it when she was little, other than that, nobody in her family really had any magic. She does say that it was something drew her dad and the other patriarch of the other family that founded Brenton, what was his name? Archer Bernaire, sort of drew them to this area. They were actually heading in a completely other direction, and one morning just woke up and the two patriarchs just decided that this was the way that they were going to go, and they found this spot, and it all seemed, at the time, of course, she was a little girl, so it was like, you know, we do what Daddy says, but in looking back after these centuries, it does seem a bit odd that sort of sudden change in course was made by them. The only thing that she can sort of think of is, you know, if you recall, there was the whole incident with the mage that came to town, and she thought he was creepy, and she ended up killing him, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, she says that wasn't the only time over the years that somewhat powerful spellcasters have been drawn to Brenton, because there's nothing here to draw big, important people, right? But it wasn't the last time that that fairly powerful mages were drawn to the area. Most of them passed through and didn't stay, unlike the one that started the whole thing. But as she thinks about it, there have definitely been an unusually high number of capable magic users that have come through town over the years. Anything else in particular you want to know?
In my in the shack for the guy we got rid of originally, did I ever find something about why he showed up here?
Not in particular, though I will say, like, looking through his things after all that time, now that you're sort of connecting some dots and you're specifically looking for something about this place and magic, you do recall that he mentioned in several places that he was surprised at how effective some of his rituals and spells were, and how much easier things felt here. Certain things felt here.
We're on a ley line.
That's what I'm thinking too.
We're in Midgard. Surprise! We're not in Greyhawk at all.
We all love ley lines.
I do love ley lines. And Merrick is secretly a geomancer. There you go. Oh, you're right. That would make a lot of sense.
Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead, Lambo.
No, that was. No, Lambo can't think of anything at the moment. Anything else at the moment. Unless, okay, so I take that back. She'd asked if for the magic users that ended up staying here,
Mm-hmm.
gravitate towards a certain area of Brenton, or were they kind of all over?
She has a hard time answering that, but we'll just say, like, you're gathering this information from various sources, because Reese can't really leave the house. But it doesn't seem like it looks like they were pretty scattered about the town. Okay. Definitely all of them living, well, no, that's not even true. I was going to say all of them living sort of within the town limits, but that's not true. A few of them were sort of in the woods on the outskirts and things like that. None of them more than maybe a mile or so outside of the town outskirts, but that doesn't really tell you a ton.
Okay. All right, well, I can't think of anything else. The only other thing I could think that came up during our investigation was the family name that I have somewhere in my notes that I forgot what it is.
Which family?
I would check my notes, but they're one page, only from the first.
You're the worst.
We were investigating, and we were asking Ren about the incidents, and like.
Oh.
Like, oh, that's too far back. That family.
The family, yeah, the family that disappeared, or not disappeared, but like left.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have them too somewhere. Here we go. When Ren's the Ruizes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Oh, so they've left Brenton. They're not here anymore.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Still in town.
No.
Then, well, I don't really know where to go from here. The sitting and waiting seems a little passive. Exactly. Go knocking on everybody's door and ask, "Hey, are you up to no good?"
We'll say that you're back at Mini Phase because she has a few gifts for you all. She tells you all that, you know, she appreciates your diligence on this matter and your desire to sort of go after it, even though seems like you've sort of hit a dead end here. She does, as you know, in between times of staring at the contract and trying to get it to reveal itself and then studying it after she found it, she needed to take breaks. So she, if she needs to replenish anybody's potion of healing, she will do that. She also, let's see, where did I write down what she's going to give you? So you all can collectively, total, pick any 2 potions that you would like, up to rarity rare. And I'll give you a list of those, but she can have created 2 of any potion that you want. And she also, you all have told her sort of, you know, in more detail than we have necessarily fleshed out in role-playing, but like you've told her about what's gone on. And she heard, you know, in several of your recounts of some of the combats, she heard about the trouble that Zenda and Zephyr were having with their weapons against certain enemies. And so she produces 4 vials of what looks like this strange sort of light blue oil. And she tells you that if you coat your weapon, and any of your weapons, in this oil, they will take on magical properties that should help you against against enemies that that are somewhat toughened against mundane attacks. So mechanically, she's giving you 4 oils of magic weapon, which means it'll take you an action to coat any one weapon in it, and for the next hour, it becomes a +1 magic weapon. So like Zenda, when you kept trying to use it against things that had resistance or immunity and couldn't get it to do anything, now as long as you put this on there, you can. It lasts for an hour. You have 4 vials of it. And she says that she's actually almost ready with 2 more vials, because she wanted to make sure that you and Zephyr had plenty. But they won't be ready probably until the next day.
I'm sorry. How much? What was the other potion total cost?
Any 2 up to rarity rare, up to and including rarity rare.
May I choose the potion of mind control humanoid?
The potion of mind control human. She feels real weird about making that for you, but sure, why not? Hey, thanks for the follow. Oh, I missed your name, Mark something.
Martini. I want one.
Oh, yes. Thanks for the follow, though. We appreciate it. Yes, she feels weird about making that for you, but sure.
It's purely for other reasons.
For Zenda. It's purely for Zenda. To get Zenda to leave you alone.
I knew it.
I just take it to say, leave! Please, for God's sake, leave me alone! Which I've been saying for months, but she doesn't actually listen, but this time she will.
It's funny. Lambo, whenever you find one that you would like, just let me know, but no rush.
Yeah, I'm looking at
That's
it.
fine. No problem. So she gives you those. She, like she said, she says she'll have 2 more of those oils of magic weapon for Zephyr and Zenda the next day. Yeah. She thanks you. It's later on in the day at this point. You've gone around to a couple of different places. You investigated the ruins. You asked her questions and Reese questions and excuse me. And so yeah, it's
Potion of Vitality.
Potion of Vitality. Do it. Love it. Solid choice. Yeah. So it can, we can sort of wrap up this day if you like. And see what's up next. Obviously, Zephyr will be the first awake and making breakfast the next day. Zenda, you know that at some point you should probably head to Miniphase to pick up the other 2 vials, just to make sure you have them on you. But other than that, you all tell me. Oopsie.
Well, if this case has gone cold, time for more food.
I do love that. What did we have you do last time? Was it deception? Or did you... mind? I don't remember now. I should have written it down because it was fun.
Yeah, I don't remember either, unfortunately.
That's okay. We'll get to it in a minute. Merrick, anything that you want to do this morning? Or sleeping in?
So, no, America is not sleeping in because they hate it when trails go cold and it makes them a little manic. So,
not again.
They're gonna wake up and they're gonna go on a hunt for any kind of information, historical or magical or otherwise, within the city and try to see if anyone knows anything, because Reese is not helpful.
Oh, I like that. I'll take... I mean, since you're talking to people, I should make you do a charisma investigation, but I'll let it be intelligence.
Thank God. Because most of it's like, do you have any information? No, I just want information. Don't talk to me. Just give me information. I don't want your opinions on things. 23.
Okay, great. So I will let you know a few things that you found out in the meantime. Zenda, anything you want to do before heading over to Miniphase to pick up the potions, or the oils, rather?
I'm basically gonna have breakfast with Zephyr because I know that he gets very upset when no one joins him for breakfast.
Aww.
He also has other plans, and so I have breakfast with Zephyr.
Aww.
And I do go to Miniphase because I really want to make sure I'm sick and tired of being I am the only non-magical one here. I hate it. hate it. So I'm going to go get the other potion.
Oh, okay. So Zephyr appreciates you having breakfast with him, and he says he'll go with you to pick them up. If you just give him a few minutes to clean up the kitchen and get everything, and he asks where Merrick and Lambeau are, if you know.
I don't know. I think I heard Merrick leave. I think I heard them up pretty early. But you know what? It's okay. We're going to spend some time together, and I'm going to help you clean up. We're going to clean up together.
I love it.
Cute.
Lambeau, if I'm not mistaken, you set up shop real near or maybe even in Miniphase? Remind me?
It was near Miniphase.
It was near Miniphase. Okay, great. All right. So, Merrick, during your early morning walkabout to gather information, what kinds of things are you looking for? Anything in particular?
I would say ley lines, even though that wasn't like
sure, but something along those lines. Sure.
Yeah, like it's kind of common knowledge, like mythology type thing.
Sure.
Anything of like anyone knows about that type of thing, like
Okay.
this is the epicenter of magical things. Any kind of instances like Lambeau was looking for, where it was the people of magical prowess coming here for reasons. Anyone knows anything more about what Reese's father was doing, why he felt so compelled, like anything like that?
Okay. So in terms of sort of magical surveys for ley lines, I mean, Brenton's a little too bumpkin for that.
Yeah.
So there's not a ton there. Well, you do find, though, some interesting sort of geological surveys and stuff. It looks like Brenton at one point for a brief period of time sort of underwent like a little a mining phase. Sort of like it was like, you go through your goth phase. Brenton went through a mining phase. But that ended pretty abruptly. It seems like there was as they were mining and digging around, they found a pretty extensive existing cave system to the point where they got real nervous about continuing to excavate because they weren't real sure how stable things were going to be if they kept digging around. And a lot of the cave system was pretty deep, but underneath a lot of the town. So they were nervous about having all that collapse.
Are there any records of old entrances to mines? Lost.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they were in some of the woods out to the north of town. Was sort of where the old mining camps were. Anyway, it doesn't say anything specific about the mine entrances, but the camps were sort of out on the northern part.
Is that where Ovid's place was?
No, his was out east.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
That's okay. What else can you dig up? There's not a ton about Reese's father because after sort of the incidents of the founding, he was dead and things got weird. So not a ton about him.
I still find it fishy that she's the only one that's still around.
Yeah.
It's fishy. It's all fishy.
I don't know what to tell you.
We are missing so much information.
Zephyr and Zenda, you two head towards Miniphase, and on your way there, you see Lambeau has set up shop, and she is with a customer. And Lambeau, who's your customer this time?
Oh, right, I have to come up with people. I'm gonna say it's an older gentleman.
Okay. Love that.
Older gentleman who's looking to enrich his married life.
Oh. All right. I love it. Okay. And how are you going to? What are you going to advise him? How are you going to? Tell me more about Lambeau's take on this.
Oh, good. Okay. So, the first thing she's going to suggest is, to chop up some branches, very thin branches, make sure they're all nice and sanded. I didn't say that.
I didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything.
Go on.
There will be a particular mushroom she will also advising it. Just kind of like, okay, use this particular type of wooden branch. Just stick the mushrooms on there. You roast them up, and then you just have a nice evening with your partner.
Oh, some little homegrown aphrodisiacs. I love it. He looks.
Afterwards is your business.
He was sort of at his wit's end at this point and looks rather excited for something new to try, and he pays you a few silver and sort of gets up and hobbles away to go pick his mushrooms. And you see, I love everything about that. You see Zenda and Zephyr coming down the road towards you and towards Minnie Faye.
Huh. Oh well. Hey guys, hey y'all, how's it going?
Zenda just waves.
Zephyr says, it's going quite well. How's your business today, Lambo?
Great.
Looked like a satisfied customer that you just sent on their way. Mind if I ask what the trouble was?
Oh, he just needed some help with raising his expectations.
Take inspiration. It wasn't even that good. I just wasn't ready for it. I adore you, Alicia.
It's just like...
I like that you acknowledged that it wasn't that good.
Just caught me by surprise.
Shock factor. It's important.
It was good. It worked for you. I love it. Merrick, at this point, your meanderings and your walkabout has actually brought you pretty close to Minnie Faye's as well, and so you see the rest of your party sort of gathered up at Lambeau's little stall a little ways outside of the shop.
I think they've brought with them the record of the old mining situation going on.
Okay,
like,
sure.
I feel like that wasn't like someone telling them. I thought it was more like a...
Yeah, for sure. Like surveys and logbooks and stuff. Yeah, totally.
So, they're going to be nice when they first approach and not just bombard them with information
okay.
and theories. Good morning, everybody. How have you been this morning?
Oh, dear, please don't strain yourself. Just tell us what you want to say.
Merrick, are you okay?
Have you gotten any leads on anything today? Yeah.
Merrick, do you need healing? Are you all right there? Zephyr sort of reaches out to like put the back of his hand on your forehead.
No, don't touch. I'm fine. I was just trying to be pleasant because that has been my biggest feedback lately, is being more pleasant. But anyway.
Yeah, I think it's weirder when you're trying to be pleasant. Why don't you just stick with being yourself? But I applaud your effort.
Well, I've been awake since 2 a.m. and I've been looking through the city, and I found this information. It's the only thing I've actually found that's useful. Nothing else has been worth anything, and it's absolute shit. But this is useful.
He's back.
There are mines underneath the city, the town, whatever. Mines. And if we are going off of the hypothesis that this creature has been here without anyone knowing, and there is something gathering, but we haven't been able to notice, that would be the best explanation, that there is something underneath the town.
Wisdom perception checks from everyone, please.
A natural 20.
Oh! Also, I almost rolled a D120. Where's the fear? Plus
That was
2.
fun.
Hey! Natural 20 Zenda! Okay, and a 2.
I'm thinking about
About your high expectations?
About your high expectations, yes. Risen expectations. Zenda and Merrick, you both hear the sound of crashing and a scream coming from Minnie Faye's shop.
God damn it, I was trying to... Let's go see what Minnie Faye is doing, I guess. With urgency.
Yes, thank you, Zenda.
Yeah,
As soon as grabbed Lambo and started running.
Zephyr has no idea what's happening, but we'll go with you.
Looking at the book, and he's like, they're like looking at it, and he's like, oh, well, I guess we should go. Oh, you were all.
Oh, you've gone.
Well,
all right.
Have a lead.
So you all race to Minifay's shop. You burst inside. You see that the back door has been smashed open. There are notes and papers everywhere, and Minifay is nowhere to be seen.
Can we... Can I detect magic first?
You can, yes. So you very quickly rattle off your incantation. Your eyes begin to glow a bit, and you don't see any... I won't say you don't see any magic, because obviously there's a lot of, like, potions and magical things in here. You don't see anything out of the ordinary for what's normally in here that's magical.
Is there, like... Okay, so going out the back, is there a clear trail to follow, or...
So you run out the back, because Zephyr will go with you. And why don't I have either a Wisdom Perception or a Wisdom Survival?
Those are both the same.
From anyone who wants to go out the back where Lambo... Zambo! It's the... Oh, no. Oh, no! I hope somebody won't witch you. Because...
I like Zambo. I like the concept.
Zambo. Yeah, that's your couple name.
Nice.
Are there any other rooms in this? Sorry, real quick. Are there any other rooms in this space?
So there's the opening. Yeah, there's the opening main area. There's the back room, and then there's a little. There's a staircase to a little tiny like living space upstairs.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you poke your head out, and but you just glance out. Lambo, you and Zephyr just both sort of glance out and don't notice anything, and poke your heads back inside.
Mm-hmm.
Merrick and Zenda.
Zenda sort of does the whole, like, wants to check out the space real quick to make sure there isn't bad people still stuck in there.
Sure.
So she goes up to the main room we've already cleared, goes running up the stairs with the rapier out, just in case, to check to make sure there's nothing else in there.
Yeah, top room looks empty, doesn't look disturbed either. So whatever happened, it looked like it was confined to the back room downstairs.
Okay.
Merrick?
Merrick is pulling up the rear thing. What is happening? What did we miss? Hello?
Minifay's gone. Oh, I know what. Lambo's gonna try detect thoughts.
Oh, I like that. What's the range on our detect thoughts?
I want to say detect thoughts is what's the range? 30? Yeah, 30 feet.
Don't catch anything at the moment, then, at this point.
In that case, I think what she'll do, because this is Minifay,
Yep.
potion expert, she will go ahead and cast Fly.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Into the air.
Yeah.
The...
I love it. Give me Wisdom Perception with advantage from up there.
Yay, please roll better.
Can't roll much worse.
Yeah!
Hey! All right, so you take to the air, and you see racing through the woods what looks like a wolf that has Minifay in its jaws, racing through the woods away from the cottage. It's a very large wolf, but anyway.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to figure out if I have the range to quickly tell the others, like, mentally that, hey, they're headed this way.
Yeah, you'll come down a little bit, because it's, what, 30 feet, I think, for your telepathy? Yeah, so you come down a little bit, and you can let them know. And, of course, and then head on. What are the the two of you, but also Zephyr, doing with that information once Lambo yells into your heads? What's going on?
And then she's taken back off after.
Right before, as Lambo is doing the thing, Zenda's checking to see if the contract is still there or if that is missing as well.
Oh, the contract is still there, just sitting on the table where she had been looking at it.
Great.
Oh, random.
Look, I don't know if that thing has powers in and of itself. Someone's taking shit.
That ain't shit. That's Minifay.
Well, and other things. You never know. Look, Zenda's trying to be thorough. You don't know.
Okay, so you quickly realize that it is still there. What are you all doing with this information? Well, I don't know.
Let's go get her.
I mean, that would be my assumption, but it's you all, so who the hell knows?
There you go. That's
How
fair.
far away is she now? Or is they booking it?
I mean, they're booking it through the woods for sure.
How are we gonna catch up with this shit? Oh my god.
I mean, at least the wolf is carrying a person, so hopefully that'll slow him down a little bit. Zenda, you going?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
going.
Zephyr's following you. Merrick?
I'm following and I'm sending Lazarus to get ahead and try to.
Okay, fly with Lambo. I love it. All right, so let's have some initiative rolls, please, and we're gonna do a little chase. I love a good chase.
At least one of us does.
All right. Oh no, what's happening here? Okay. Hey, so we got a 20 for Zenda. It's very quiet. Uh-oh. Feel like it's quiet because something has gone wrong.
I'm still here.
Okay. Merrick, what'd you get?
10.
A 10 for Merrick. Lambeau is a... I love the name of your initiative macro. I'm so fast. Lambeau has a 9. The wolf also got a 20, but will go after Zenda. And we need to roll for Zephyr, who has a +4. Zephyr got a 7. Excellent.
I hate being first.
Okay. So, Zenda, you are first. Now let's talk a little bit about how we run a chase, shall we?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, as per the Dungeon Master's Guide, which has all kinds of fun little nuggets like this, we're rolling initiative. The chase begins. Determine the starting distance between the quarry and the pursuers. At this point, the wolf has had several rounds to run quite a distance ahead, so we will say that the wolf is currently about 200 feet ahead of you all, in and through the woods. Participants in the chase are strongly motivated to use the dash action every round. Pursuers who stop to cast spells and make attacks run the risk of losing their quarry, and the quarry that does so is likely to be caught. During the chase, each participant can freely use the dash action a number of times equal to 3 plus its Constitution modifier. Each additional dash action it takes during the chase requires a Constitution check, or gaining 1 level of exhaustion. Spells and attacks. A chase participant can make attacks and cast spells against other creatures within range, as normal, because you're all running, except we can't really do opportunity attacks. At the end of each round, the quarry will make a dexterity stealth check, which it will compare to your passive wisdom perception scores. Lambeau, I will give you a +5 to your passive perception because you essentially have advantage since you're up in the air. So your passive perception will be a 14 instead of a 9. If the quarry is able to beat all of your passive perception rolls, they have gotten away, at least for the moment, and have managed to hide. Also, my favorite part about chases is that each participant in the chase rolls a d20 at the end of its turn. Then I will consult a table, and based on your roll, the next participant in the initiative order may suffer some sort of complication as they race through the woods, chasing after the wolf that has many fae, or fly over the woods, as the case may be. All right, questions about the chase?
We gotta.
So many.
It's gonna have to happen in real time for me.
Okay,
Like,
I love it. So basically, you're running after, and you can take the dash action. And Zenda, what is your Constitution modifier?
Constitution modifier. Where is that? Just up in the
Up in the very
box
top.
above?
Yep, the box up. No, the very top box above that box.
+2.
+2. Okay, so you can take the dash action 5 times without having to worry about getting exhausted. Now, as a rogue, you should also remember that you can take the dash action twice in one turn. You can use your action and your bonus action to dash, which will move you very far in one round, but also will very quickly eat up your 5 free dash actions, right? So.
Got it. So I can use 2. I can use 2 each round, but they do count. Both of them count towards the.
Correct. Both of them count towards the 5. Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Well, to start off, let's hit it with a big old 1-2.
Let's hit it with a big old 1-2. Okay, so that's gonna race you. Your little halfling body is just motoring as you go, motor, and that'll get you that'll get you 75 feet. Zeph, sorry, let me just do this real quick. Merrick, Lambeau. Okay, so that'll get you 75 feet as you just run through the woods, leaping over branches, leaping over roots, ducking under branches, although you probably don't really have to duck, grabbing them and swinging. I love that. All right. No problem there. You can see, as you enter the woods, you can just make out where the wolf carrying Minifay is up in the distance. And go ahead and roll just a flat d20 for me so that we see if the wolf has, because they're next in initiative order, has any complications. A 2. Oh, that's Urban Chase. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so where the wolf is, the camera zooms forward onto the wolf, and we see that uneven ground threatens to slow the wolf's progress, and the wolf needs to make a dexterity acrobatics. Yes, dexterity. Sorry, a dexterity acrobatics check, which is just a dexterity check for the wolf. Uh-oh, why do I have the? Here we go. Good. No, I love it when it goes. Okay, but it passes the DC, and so the wolf is able to... carry on running through the difficult terrain without any problem at all.
Damn.
Okay. Huh?
So that's a big ass wolf.
It's a big ass wolf. Yes, yes, it is. All right, natural 20 on the wolf's roll. So Merrick suffers no complication in the chase. Merrick, what are you doing? You dashing? You doing anything else?
I'm just dashing, I guess. Because I'm slow. I only have a Constitution modifier of 1, so I can't dash that long.
Might as well dash while you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna dash while I can.
All right, so Merrick goes leaping through the woods, following the path of Zenda, but having to be a little more careful with some of the taller branches that Zenda didn't have to worry about. Go ahead and roll me a flat d20 to see if there's any complications for the next person in the order, which is Lambeau. 16. Lambeau also has no complications, probably because she's up in the air. So Lambeau, tell us what's going on up there. Our eye in the sky.
Lambeau's first priority right now is to close this with Lewis. So six flying at 60, he just does the dash and 120.
And 120, very nice. And Merrick, your move is 30 feet, right? So you went 60.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so Lambeau just rockets up ahead, gaining quite a bit, closing the distance a good bit between her and the wolf, carrying Minifay. And next we go... Oh, roll a flat d20, Lambeau, to see if there are complications for Zephyr.
Flat d20, 7.
Zephyr, running through, decides that he thinks he's found a better path to take a little shortcut, but he blunders into a hunter's snare out in the woods. So he needs to make a dexterity saving throw, which fortunately he is proficient at, but unfortunately he fails miserably. So Zephyr blunders into this hunter's snare. On a failed save, he is caught in a net and restrained. Oh, shit. He will have to excuse me, he will have to use part of his turn next round. So he did manage to dash, but he will have to take part of his turn next round to get himself out of the net. You all hear Zephyr cry out, and so it's up to you all whether you want to sort of deal with that or turn back around or continue the chase. But he is going to roll a flat d20 to see if Zenda now has any complications, and that is an 8. So Zenda, as you continue running, chasing this wolf, a stampede of spooked deer comes bursting out of the trees next to you. Look, them deer gigantic compared to you. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
What is my dexterity saving?
Something quite high, I think.
Yeah,
that's the one. You can do it, Zenda. You can do it as these deer come bursting out of the tree line next to you, threatening to knock you about. And 11 is crap, but is going to be enough that you manage to weave your way through and in between the various deer and are able to continue on your way. Now, how much dashing are you doing this round?
Let me go with just one.
Just one dash? Okay. So that'll take you another 50 feet, putting you at this number here. Oh, this number here. Okay. All right. Anything else on your turn? Because that can either have been your action or your bonus action, so you could, if you want, still have one of them left. You, at this point, are about 135 feet behind the wolf. You've made good progress, but...
yeah, let me take another one, then. Yeah,
you can take one more?
Yeah.
All right. So you want to make a bit more progress. You make it, and you're now within about 110 feet of the wolf. Go ahead and roll me a flat d20 to see if there are complications for the wolf.
16.
16. There are no complications for the wolf, so the wolf continues to run, and we'll take another dash. Oh, I should check what their constitution modifier is. I think I know what it is. Yeah, okay. All right, so the wolf continues. Lambeau, you in particular can see that the wolf is doing a great job of dodging branches and tree trunks and things. Not such a great job of making sure that Minnie Faye dodges branches and tree trunks and things. So that's not awesome, but it is what it is. All right. Oh, no, not again. Who is at, so Merrick, that same stampede of deer sort of runs your way from where they ran into Zenda. So I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as well.
I'm rolling pretty well today. That was
Why?
Non-natural 20.
Okay, so you're able to deftly leap about and avoid the deer as well. What are you doing on your turn?
I've already dashed once, so I can't dash again.
It's three plus your constitution modifier.
Oh, 3+. I missed that part. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
No, you don't only get one.
I will roll you.
Okay, dash again.
And nothing special. I'm just trying to keep up with the faster people. This isn't my forte.
To be fair, Zenda has been faster, but she's about to take a turn for the slower unless she wants to start making constitution saves. All right, roll me a flat d20, Merrick, to see what our friend Lambeau has to deal with up in the sky.
14.
14, so Lambeau is fortunate and still has nothing to deal with up in the sky. Talk to me, Lambeau.
I think right now she still just wants to get as close as possible.
Okay.
So she's going to dash. Well, I guess what range is the wolf from her now? I guess that's
the wolf right now is 200 feet away.
Still 200. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's still dashing then.
Okay. So you dash and you get within 80 feet. So you're definitely closing the distance.
Okay.
All right. Roll a d20 to see if poor Zephyr has anything to deal with while he is up in the net, in the snare.
Did it not show up?
Oh, it did. A 15. There it is. It did make the noise, so I was confused. All right. So a 15. So fortunately, Zephyr has nothing to deal with except for the fact that he's still stuck in this net. So he's going to make a strength athletics check, right? Nope, just a strength check. All right. So I think that's a +0 for him. Yes, it is. All right, so he's going to make a strength check to try and get out of the net, and he does. He manages to get himself free from the net. That took his action, so he's just going to run 30 feet this time. No dash action available to him, unfortunately, but that's all right. He's back on his feet and on his way. Let's see. Okay, so we get to the top of the third round. Zenda, you are up. No complication. You're beginning to get a little winded from all the very fast running, but you can do it. So what are you up to?
Okay, so if I want to not run out of full steam, I have to do a dash plus what?
So you can do, you've dashed 4 times. You can dash one more time and not worry about it. You can dash twice, but for every dash after the first one, you're going to be making constitution saving throws to keep from gaining levels of exhaustion.
Got it. Then, I mean, I may as well do that because I need to catch up to this.
Okay.
Damn.
All right, so we're going to do 2 more dashes.
25. Constitution.
All right, Constitution saving throw. So it's the one in that little box.
Lift 2. Oh, I got a 7.
Okay, so you have 1 level of exhaustion, which you can add for yourself in the conditions box all the way on the right. Exhaustion 1 level, that means that you now have disadvantage on all ability checks. It doesn't slow you down yet, but you do have disadvantage on ability checks.
Got it.
All right, so you all see Zenda. Those of you who can see Zenda, she's just taken, but she's beginning to get a little winded. Zenda, go ahead and roll a flat d20 for me.
17.
Okay, so I guess unfortunately, the wolf has no complications yet again. The wolf is going to continue running. This number, that many. Okay. Continuing to run, and let's see if anything is going to happen to Merrick. Nothing happens to Merrick, so Merrick, you are up.
I feel so useless here. I'm like looking at my spell list. Like, can I help anyone? Can I do anything to stop it? No, keep running.
Chases are rough. Chases are rough, but you're getting there. You're at least not falling any further behind from the wolf.
True.
All right, so Merrick continued just really hating everything about this, I'm sure. Go ahead and roll a flat d20 to see if anything...
A 12.
A 12, okay, so nothing for Lambeau yet again up in the sky. Lambeau, talk to me.
All right, I think this time she'll move, because it's 200 from me, so if I move 60, that puts it at 140. Dang it.
So,
Not close enough.
also remember the wolf is running 60 feet per round as well, further
Right,
away
yeah.
from you, yeah.
That's why I'm just like...
Oh, I was also looking at the wrong. Here we go. Okay.
Is it slower?
So you've dashed twice. Twice. Okay.
Twice. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to dash again. 'Cause
There it is.
The longest range I have is 120.
Okay. So that'll put you within about 20 feet of them. It'll take your action to do it, but you're now within 20 feet, and then, next round when they run, you'll still be within a reasonable range.
Okay.
All right. So you're really closing in on them. Why don't you make me a wisdom perception check as well,
Sure thing.
Lambeau?
Perception. 10?
Yeah, I think that's enough that you can sort of make out that this wolf appears to be running towards what looks like a cave entrance a little ways ahead in the woods.
Okay.
Excuse me. All right, go ahead and roll a flat d20 so we can see if Zephyr has anything to deal with.
Yes, he does.
Oh, no. Oh, and it's another snare, I think.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's another hunter snare.
He's in a minefield, basically.
Basically. All right, well, his dex save's +6, so as Zephyr's running, let's see. 20 plus 6. Let's see if he manages to... All right, but he manages to deftly avoid this one, fortunately. Where's Zephyr? Okay. So he manages to get around it, and he's running. He's definitely the furthest back of all of you because he had to stop and deal with that last round. But nothing for Zenda in this round to deal with as we come back up on Zenda, who's feeling very tired, but is making progress.
Oh, she is. She's feeling it,
She is.
So because I still can't do anything this far away, I'm going to continue to dash.
Okay, you're going to dash twice because you'll need to make 2 separate Constitution saving throws.
I will do... Yeah, why not?
All right, do it. Do it. I love it.
Yeah,
That 10 is enough. 10 is just enough, I think.
I don't like that. I don't like just enough.
Let me make sure that's
Alright,
true.
that one's better.
All right, that one's better. Let me make sure it is DC 10. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I should just check.
Please let it be that.
DC 10. Yes. Okay. So no more. No, you don't get any additional exhaustion, and you manage to make it another 75 feet, putting you at this point just a mere 80 feet behind the wolf and Minnie Fey, the unconscious Minnie Fey. Roll me a flat d20 so we can see if the wolf has to deal with anything.
Oh, that's not the right letter. 3.
All right, they do. Let's see. Ah, the wolf runs through a swarm of insects. Biting, scratching, nasty insects. Ooh, and the insects just really take a chunk out of the wolf, just stinging, and you hear the wolf sort of a muffled yelp of pain. He's still got Minnie Fey in his teeth. But the wolf takes 9 points of damage from running through that swarm of insects. It does not, however, slow the wolf down as it continues to run, taking its last dash action before it needs to start making checks. And it is very close at this point to the cave. Nothing for Merrick, so Merrick, what you doing?
A cave, you say?
A cave, I say.
How far away is the wolf now?
From you, currently, the wolf is... Wait, that can't be right.
I was in the back, so...
200... Oh, yes, that is correct. 260 feet.
I'm still running. That's all I'm doing.
Okay.
There's nothing else I can do.
All right, so you get back to within 200 feet. You're not gaining on it, but it's not gaining on you, so we're getting there.
And I rolled a 6.
A 6, which means that Lambeau is very determined to... Well, that doesn't make sense.
Just hit her with a swarm of insects, too.
No, I'm gonna actually... There's some fun rooftop things from Waterdeep Dragon Heist that has some stuff for flying, so I'm gonna go look over there. Although it's going to be urban, so that might make sense either, but we'll give it a try. The rooftop chase. Here we go. What did you roll? A what? A 6? A 3? A 4? What? 6.
Gotta be one of those numbers.
Right? No, that's about a rooftop. All right, so we'll say that you, let's see if there's anything in here that seems to... Here we go. That seems to work for... let's see, a razor vine, creature indigenous, no, sudden drop. Okay, so there is, as you're flying, you sort of whip past a particularly large mound of dirt and pollen, and it kicks up into your eyes. I need you to make a constitution saving throw, Lambeau.
Can do. Do I have that on me already? Yes, I do. No!
Oh, so you are currently blinded, which halves your speed for this turn.
Dang it! Okay. Well, alright. Yeah, oh, and it is my turn.
It is your turn, yes.
Can I try and get, like, one eye open really quick as, like, a bonus? Just try and, like, get at least one eye
to see where you're going.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, you were sort of heading, like, as soon as you oriented, your check was good enough that you saw the cave. So I assume you went ahead, like, and you know they're heading that way. So I'll say that, like, you were sort of oriented on a straight line, so you're capable of, like, just keeping going in the same direction. So your speed will be halved because you don't want to, like, run into an errant tree branch, but I'm not too worried about you, like, veering off in the wrong direction.
Okay, alright, because, well, I was wondering if I could still see the wolf.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Because I don't know what's going on in the cave, so I'm trying to see if I can stop it before it gets
right, I see. Sure, I'll give you... Yeah, no, sure, that's fine. What are you gonna try and do?
So I was gonna do slow.
Oh, that's an area thing too, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so then yes, absolutely. It's not a target. It's not a single target thing. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So she's gonna move. So she'll move 30 with halved, and then slow it.
Okay. Slow. It's a wisdom saving throw, I believe. All right, I love that. It's a 14.
14. My DC is that makes it unfortunate.
All right, but it was a solid effort. You're able to then, as soon as you finish casting the spell, you're able to clear the pollen from your eyes. You see that wolf don't look slowed at all. Go ahead and roll a flat d20 to see if poor Zephyr, bless him.
No.
Oh, Zephyr!
I need to stop rolling the dice for him.
So, as Zephyr's running on his alternate path, a stream blocks his path, and he needs to make a dexterity acrobatics check to cross the impediment.
Can I roll for the wolf instead? Clearly.
Acrobatics is at a +4. Okay, but he's able to leap over the stream. It does not slow him at all. He continues running 60 feet. All right, Zenda, we are up to you. You are currently 110 feet away from the wolf.
Damn. Then I will continue to do my double dashes.
Okay, give me some constitution saves. You got a stitch in your side. It hurts like mad.
22.
All right,
20.
that'll do. And the second one?
Plus
20. All right, so you manage it. You're now within just a mere 35 feet back from the wolf, although the wolf is about to keep running. But anyway, all right, so Zenda just huffing and puffing, bless her little heart. Roll me a flat d20 to see if the wolf has anything to deal with before it gets to the cave. Oh, you can very clearly see the cave. All right. So the wolf runs, turns a corner, races into this cave, and sort of, well, those of you who have dark vision doesn't disappear, but those of you who do not have dark vision, it disappears into the darkness. Let's roll a... Oh, but it does need to make a Constitution saving throw. It does not get a level of exhaustion as it races in there. However, Merrick... You too run through a swarm of insects as you are running. It's a non-natural 20 hit you?
No, it doesn't. I'm good.
So as you run through it, you take 8 piercing damage as the insects bite and sting at you, but it doesn't slow you down at all. You're able to continue moving full steam.
So good.
Ew. That took me a minute to realize what you meant. So do you continue running, Merrick?
I do.
All right. What's your Constitution modifier?
1.
Oh, I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving throw then, because that was your fifth dash.
I love that. Let's do this. Let's
Do
roll
it.
the die. Okay, Constitution saving throw. That a 14.
That's enough.
Okay, bless.
So no exhaustion. Go ahead and roll a d20 for Lambeau.
A 10.
A 10. Oh. No, that doesn't make sense. Lambeau's fine. So Lambeau, what are you doing?
Okay, so Lambeau, I guess, how much more does she have until she gets to the cave?
An excellent question. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 95. Nope, that's the wrong person. You went 30 last time, right?
I went 30, yeah.
Okay, I did not write that down. That's why that didn't look right. You've got about 100 feet.
I'll do the dash.
Okay, so dash you go. I assume your con modifier is more than 0.
It's 1.
Okay, great. So you're fine. That was your last one, but you're fine. Okay, so you get to the cave entrance, no problem. Roll d20 for Zephyr. That stampede has circled around and come after Zephyr.
You're mad.
I should have rolled for the wolf.
Okay, but he's also able to dodge them safely. I think his con might be a +2. Yes, it is. So he's got 1. Oh, he's got 2 more because he didn't do it that one. 270. All right. And that is the end of the round. Your quarry has disappeared into the caves. Presumably you will chase after them when we come back from our brief break. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes to see what has happened to Miss Minnie Fay. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hope you all hydrated during the break, took a nice little rest, and are ready to go. Excuse me, I clearly got some water. As our party heads into the cave system where Minnie Faye has been abducted. They chased after the thick wolf through the woods. The wolf stayed just ahead of them. Lambeau almost managed to get close enough to slow them down, but at the wrong moment ran into a cloud of dust and pollen and was unfortunately unable to stop them. So, here's my question. Because you all are now sort of strung out over about 130 feet, with Zephyr being all the way at the back and Lambeau being all the way forward. Lambeau and Zenda being all the way forward. Are the two of you, Lambeau and Zephyr, are you gonna hang back and wait for the rest of your party, or are you going into the cave and...
Lambeau is not hanging back.
Okay. Zenda, how about you?
I'm gonna have to, because I can't see in there anyway, so I'm gonna hang back and
That is a good point.
wait for the plan.
Okay, so just do a quick calculation. All right, so Lambeau, let's stay with you then for a couple of rounds while Zenda holds back and waits for the rest of the party. So you zoom into, excuse me, zoom into the cave system. It's quite dark, but you do have dark vision, correct?
She actually doesn't, so kind of like as she's landing, she was going to do like the light.
Great,
Yeah.
love that, love that. Okay, so you are going to land as well?
Yes.
Okay, so landing, casting light, that actually wasn't a passive-aggressive question. I never remember if Ganassi have dark vision or not. I realized after I said it, I was like, oh, it sounded like I knew the answer before I asked the question. Anyway, all right, so yes, so you land... fairly small entrance into this cave system. If you hadn't been looking for like what the wolf's ultimate goal was, you might have missed it because it looks sort of just more like a fissure in this little cliff face. But once you get inside, it opens up quite a bit into sort of this little antechamber and continues on. There's a tunnel straight ahead on the other side that continues on that you can just barely make out at the edge of the dim light of your light spell.
Okay, all right. So I think with the light, she would have picked up like a rock.
Sure.
And what she's actually going to do, because I think I can do this. I'm trying to remember how many times I can do this per day. Yep. Oh, once. All right, we're gonna wait on that then. So she's going to be holding the rock, and she's going to go a bit into the cave.
Okay.
Or rather, I know she's gonna try and see if she can find the tracks of the wolves, like trying through here, because it didn't look like it was trying to be stealthy.
No, not when it first ran in. So go ahead and make me a wisdom survival check.
Okay.
It's all right.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Survival. I don't have it, but I know exactly what the modifier is. No.
I will say this. I will say you can't find the wolf tracks, not because you don't see any tracks, but because there are a ton of tracks. Clearly, this area is frequented by various types of creatures, and well, either a lot of them or a few of them have crossed through here a lot. So it's almost impossible to distinguish this particular wolf's passage through the cavern.
Okay, I think then she'll kind of stop at that point, since she's not sure which way to go. Oh, will she... Sorry, do a detect thoughts real quick to see if she can...
Oh, sure. Detect thoughts. You get... Surprisingly, you get some vaguely humanoid thoughts. And the thought that you immediately... are hit with is, oh, I hope they don't follow.
Okay. All right, so I will keep that in mind. I'll sort of hold position for that.
Okay.
Now.
All right. So, Merrick and Zephyr managed to eventually catch up to Zenda, and what are the three of you doing?
If Zenda needs light, Merrick can't help with that, but I think Zephyr can.
I think so. Let me double check. Yes, he can help. He can cast light on what? On your rapier? On the tip of your rapier?
Yeah, I like that.
Great.
That's cute.
All right. So your rapier lights up. Zephyr is also going to... Well, okay. So, yes, you can see now.
Lazarus was with Lambeau, wasn't?
Yeah, we'll say Lazarus, because what's Lazarus's fly speed?
That of a bird. So I don't have it up. I don't.
The worst.
Anitawi.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, we'll say Lazarus is here with you all now.
Okay. So I'm gonna start going in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
Yeah. So as you go in, you see Lambeau is there with her light as well, waiting on the three of you.
Yeah, it took y'all long enough.
But
Sorry, I had to wait for the thing, and I waved my glowing rapier.
Right. And she's going to like mentally say just like, well, there's somebody definitely in here who was hoping they were not followed. I'm not sure which of these paths is correct, but yeah, we have that. Yeah, she's doing it mentally so to not alert the person.
Totally. Zephyr is going to nod and think for a minute and reach into his pouch to take out one of the vials of oil that that Minnie Faye gave you all, and he's just going to sort of pour it over his rapier.
How wide is this cave opening?
The opening itself is fairly narrow. It's like, I don't know, maybe 7 to 10 feet at the most. No, probably not even. Probably closer to 5 to 7 feet, the opening. And then it opens up quite a bit into a chamber once you're inside. But
Merrick's going to take a hot second, and by a hot second I mean a minute, and they're going to cast Magic Circle in the opening, which is a radius of 10 feet. And they're going to make it so that fiends cannot cross the threshold.
Okay. So that's going to take a minute, which, of course, when you're hoping to do something feels like an eternity, but that is what it is. What are the rest of you doing during that minute?
I'm also going to put some
Great.
magic oil on.
You
my
got it.
hand.
So the two of you have magic weapons for the next hour.
Great.
On your rapier?
Yes.
Lambeau will try and see if she can still sense those those humanoid thoughts.
Yeah, so you reach out and the thoughts are let's see. Let me just read this real quick. Come on, load up. Here we go. For the duration, certain creatures, when you can, if you choose, it doesn't, it's unaffected, and this and that. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a humanoid. That was my first question. My next question is, what happens when this thing does this thing? You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Totally. 100%.
Oh, well, that's... There we go. Here we go, and let's look up at this one, and it says, other than are the same... Okay. So you get a very bizarre read back. What you got before was very clearly someone thinking, I hope they don't follow us. What you get now is this weird combination of nervous humanoid thoughts and sort of animalistic instincts to run and hide. Coming from the same creature. Like, it's not multiple creatures that are doing that. It is a creature that is giving you that reading.
Okay. And they're spending the Kyle's spending a minute doing the magic circle anyway.
Yeah.
I think she might actually see if she can delve deeper then, since she'll
Yeah, alright, that's a wisdom save?
I believe so. I should always have this up.
That's okay. It's not going to matter what save it is, because I got a 7 on the die, so...
Yep, it is in fact wisdom save, but yeah.
Okay. So you delve deeper, and let's see, what is it thinking about? You gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind. Okay. And the target knows that you're probing its mind. Unless you shift your attention, the creature can use its action to make an intelligence check contested by your intelligence check. If it succeeds, okay, fine. So in that moment before it is able to respond, you figure out a couple of things. It knows it's not alone over there. It has at least one companion, and they are guarding whatever is deeper in the cave system. It is quite frightened. It doesn't really love what's happening here, but it is more frightened of whatever is deeper in the cave and of upsetting it. And so that's why it's staying here. Something that looms large in its mind. There's also a certain excitement because, and you see little flashes of the wolf running through with Minnie Faye, and clearly it's excited that Minnie Faye has been brought here. Something about the last one sort of flashes through its mind. There's also a really weird image that you catch, which is like there's some light deeper in the cavern system that's throwing some shadows up on the walls behind it. And as the wolf that was carrying Minnie Faye passed and cast a shadow on the wall, the wolf seemed to sort of grow and change and shift, and then it passed out of the light and you can't sort of see what happened, but its shadow was morphing in a really strange and unsettling way in this creature's sort of memory. And then it lets out sort of a squeak, a terrified squeak, and will try to push you out of its mind, which means that the two of you are making intelligence checks.
Alrighty then.
It got a 4, so
well, we've seen how my rolls go, so let's...
Not wrong.
And just straight int, right?
Yep.
Okay.
15. Okay, so you managed to clamp down on its mind for at least a little while. And we'll say at this point, you sort of softly probed for a little while, and then close to Merrick being finished with the casting, you decided to go deeper. So Merrick, you're done with that casting now, we'll say. And you've placed a magic circle there in the entrance, and you all can decide what you want to do next.
So now there is a barrier preventing any fiendish energies from passing through, either getting into the cave or leaving the cave. So our butts are covered.
Hold on to your butts. What is that?
Alright, Lambo sort of like a hand to her head, just like, well, I know, I kind of know what it's thinking. It seems like maybe there's some sort of ritual. It said something about Minnie Faye being the last one. Well, I say, but I invaded its mind. Let's not get into that.
Let's be clear.
Yeah, and well, I had to probe a little deeper for that, so it knows we're here. I have no idea which way it went though. I just know it's still here, and also hiding from something bigger in here. Looks like, so yeah, it's a companion, and there's something else somewhere in here. Don't know what.
Let's proceed cautiously. I don't know if we have any way to prepare for whatever this is.
I also think that wolf might be a were-human. I don't know. A werewolf?
I really like the idea of a were-human. Like it's a wolf that got bit by and so the wolf turns into a person at the full moon.
Magical world. I don't know.
I like it a lot. Stranger things have happened in Brenton, let's be honest.
Accurate. So who wants to pick which direction we go? Any takers?
There's really only 2 options, and Lambeau, you're pretty sure that the thoughts that you were getting came from one in particular.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so she'll indicate which direction.
Perfect. Great.
Okay. And so in do you go?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do 2 things. We are going to first. You're gonna tell me what order you all are walking through in the passageway. There is about 10 feet wide, so you can go 2 by 2 if you like.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll pair up like Merrick, Lambeau, Zephyr, and Zenda.
Merrick, Lambeau, Zephyr, and Zenda. Okay, and which group of that is in the front?
I think Lambeau's in the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Merrick's in the back.
Okay, well then it's Zephyr and Lambeau, and Merrick and Zenda.
This feels familiar.
Merrick doesn't do front line.
Yeah, we know.
They make a front line.
Thunder just really wants to be near Merrick all the time.
Unfortunately.
It's funny.
You are gonna love me.
You're gonna love... No.
Someone coming.
I was gonna do it, but I didn't. I held that back.
Okay. So that is the order that we are in with Lambeau and Zenda in the front. Zephyr, sorry, so I wrote Z and then I got confused because I didn't keep writing. Zephyr in the front, and Merrick and Zenda in the back. I gotta do Z-E-N and Z-E-P. Okay, the next thing I need you to do is everybody to roll initiative.
Right. Initiative. Hey, I am fast this time.
Hey, you are definitely fast this time. That's a 20 for Lambeau. We got an 18 for Zenda.
16 from Merrick.
16, give me 1 second. 16 for Merrick. And for Zephyr, is it a +4, I believe?
I think that's what you rolled last time.
Oops. 14 for Zephyr. And we are at round 1, not round 6. All right, so Lambeau. Where is... Let's see. Okay, so that's not true. That's that. Okay, so you sort of walk up with your lit rock, and in this next little hallway chamber area, you see a few things. You see 1, 2. You see 2 just enormous rats. Well, enormous in that they're the size of, small dogs. They're not actually enormous, but large for rats. And they are standing right on either side of some sort of monstrosity. It is standing on 2 feet, but has all of the features of a rat, but it is holding a short sword in one hand and is shaking ever so slightly. Go ahead and make me an intelligence nature check.
Nature, I think that's the same. Oh, nope,
It's a capybara.
It's a capybara. Oh yeah, so you know that you recognize this creature as a poor soul that was infected with lycanthropy from a rat. This is in fact a were-rat that is flanked by 2 giant rats on either side. You were on the right track, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what you see in here, and it is your turn.
Okay.
Sorry. Say again.
And it was clearly like a wolf that we saw carrying minifan.
Definitely a wolf, and definitely bigger than this were-rat.
Okay. All right. So she'll actually take a turn. She's like, "Look, we're here for minifay. I don't really want to have to hurt you, and you seem kind of skittish in the first place. So how about you tell me where to go, and we can just go our separate ways."
I like it. Let me take a charisma persuasion, please.
Persuasion. 17.
All right. Let me. Okay. So the were-rat sort of looks at you, shakes even harder, turns around to look behind at whatever is deeper down in the tunnel. Oh my god, that's too. Okay. Looks to see what's even deeper down in the tunnel. Sort of thinks for a minute and then tosses its short sword to the side and just presses itself back against the wall and points down the hallway.
Thank you kindly. And Lambeau will, along with Zephyr, proceed fast.
Okay.
Just like, look.
And it calls off the giant rats as well. So nicely done there. Zenda, as you come into this chamber following the party, you heard that conversation. Are any of you gonna not take the proffered piece? Looking at you, Merrick.
I missed that. The proffer piece?
Proffered piece.
Proffered.
Are you gonna attack even though they're letting you guys by?
Oh, no, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, so Zenda, as you walk in, you see that there's actually another few rats and one other were-rat also hidden in some shadows and crags and behind rocks in this area, but they too have been clearly called off and cowed and are just going to let you all pass by.
Thank God. Great. I'm going to point out these other rats to Merrick, just in case we have more than just my eyes on them.
Okay.
I decide to change their mind.
Okay.
And then I'm going to continue to follow the leaders of this group.
Okay. All right. So down you go. The passage that you are following sort of twists and turns for a little while. There are a few side passages here and there, but they're smaller. They lead to small chambers that look like they're either just sort of storage of like foodstuffs. One of them looks like it's some sort of like a refuse trash chamber, whatever. And that's really all that you see along the way. But eventually you keep walking, and the light that was flickering dimly back where the were-rats were gets brighter and brighter. And you realize that you are approaching whatever the main chamber is, probably where Minnie Fay was taken. And you can hear the crackling of a fire. And I'll have wisdom perception checks from everyone to see if you can hear more than that.
Wisdom perception.
I got a 10.
So
got
did
17.
Lambeau, a 17, and what is Zephyr's? I think it's +2, yes. Oh, good. My keyboard turned off, so if anyone would like to roll 1d20 +2 for Zephyr, that would be appreciated. Hey! Clear. So when it's not Lambeau... Got it. Got it. I understand how this goes. I got it. I got it. Okay, so Zenda and Zephyr, the Z team. Oh, we made a bad joke and then I coughed. That'll show me. That's right. Zenda and Zephyr, you all can hear sort of gruff, low, gravelly voices in the chamber beyond, and you hear sort of what sounds like something rusty and metallic sort of creaking and being opened, and like creaking and squeaking and whining as it's opened, and then you hear what sounds like some sort of metallic door or something being slammed shut. Behind it, you hear the sounds of maybe what might be chains or padlocks or things like that sort of being rattled, and then some more of the gruff voices that you can't make out the words Zephyr. They're pretty low, but definitely at least two or three. Is that true? Definitely at least 2 or 3 voices in the chamber, and then you heard all that metallic stuff as well.
Is going to, hopefully Zephyr will stop Lambeau from continuing forward. I'm going to gently place my arm in front of Merrick without touching them because consent is mandatory. Put my arm out, and because I cannot communicate through the minds like the rest of y'all can, I try to mime.
It's just Lambeau.
It's literally just Lambeau.
Lambeau's the only one who can do it. You have the bird.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Nothing. So I'm literally charading that how many voices I can hear, and that we should probably stop and stop walking.
3 words. 3 words. First word. Okay.
Merrick says out loud.
First word. Silent. No.
Merrick's the worst.
Oh,
that's literally what I do.
I love it. Okay, yeah. Zephyr definitely stops you, Lambeau, as well, to sort of let you know that he hears voices up ahead.
You'll stop.
Yeah.
I can just throw a demon in there and be done with it.
We have to. It's like we have to make sure Minnie Fay doesn't get hurt. Throwing in a demon your skelter isn't gonna help.
Exactly.
I can still just throw the demon in there. It'll help. No matter the outcome, it'll be helpful.
If she could, she would give you like a mental forehead flick. No.
I love that. I love that.
Do we all feel it?
My favorite part of that was the perfect intonation on the now.
Now.
I All right. Well, here's a question: would one of us like to go in there invisibly?
Oh. I think Saphir might be able to do that too.
Greater invisibility.
Ah, you can do it fancy style.
Mm-hmm. Which means you can take out all the bad guys.
I can make an ominous fog cloud.
I think I'm.
So not Merrick.
What in the hell was that noise? I'm sorry, Zenda, what was that?
I said I think I'm the one with the highest stealth.
But if you thought, I'd be concerned.
I want to
That's
say
not up for debate at all.
I would... That would have been on me, though, because I helped her build the damn thing, so if she didn't have the highest stealth, it would have been on me.
Right? Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's not true either, but...
Fair. So, yeah, Zenda volunteers to be invisible and take a shot at...
Yeah, so you want you to scout it out. And if you could, while you're doing that, 'cause we'll kind of hang back here, just kind of be thinking what you're saying so we can get a play-by-play.
Got it.
I can't wait for this.
It's gonna be great.
We made a mistake.
Or did you?
Or did we?
Alright, so,
I don't make mistakes. I only make choices.
That's right. Strong choices.
This is a strong choice. It may be strong and wrong, but it's a strong
But is strong. Yo. I love it. Alright, so this is the first time that that Lambeau has cast this extra special invisibility. Tell us what that looks like.
Okay, so it's sort of like, you know how they have like the little phasing out effect from like on the holodeck with Star Trek? So it's sort of like it goes kind of like she kind of turns into like halfling lines first and then pop out of
Yes.
Lambeau's ahead of her time.
Yes, visual.
Yeah, well, I mean, we knew that. I love it. I love it. So Zenda, you look down and you startle a little bit because you can't see yourself either. It's very weird.
All you guys can hear me think really loudly is, holy shit. Doing a little dance to make sure no one else.
It's just like,
Cool.
Xander, this spell has a time limit. Please get moving.
Is it a minute, Lambeau?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
How much?
1 minute.
It's like
1 minute? Oh shit. You're right. Let's go.
All right, so you go in. Here's what we're gonna do because there's so many possibilities for both really good and really terrible things that could be done with this minute. So we're gonna go round by round with you, Zenda, and if we need to involve the others at some point, we will. But so we're gonna go round by round. So each round, you get your move, action, and bonus action, just like if you're in combat, but you don't necessarily have to attack, though you're completely invisible and attacking isn't going to get rid of the invisibility, so if you want to attack, you're more than welcome to. But each round is 6 seconds, so we'll say that you spent 1 round dancing, so you have 9 rounds remaining of invisibility.
That's fair. I didn't warn her ahead of time.
Also, let's be honest, 9 rounds is plenty of time to wreak some havoc.
That's very true.
So we'll say that...
Even if I did tell her, she still would have done that.
Probably.
So we'll say that getting into the cavern will take 60 feet, so that'll be, or 50 feet, so that'll be a move and a dash, which you can do with your bonus action. You don't have to worry about Constitution saves anymore because you've had a few minutes to breathe and sort of recover. You do still have that level of exhaustion, which means that, which actually makes this really interesting, because basically what that means is your stealth checks, since you're invisible, are at advantage, but because of your exhaustion, are at disadvantage, so you're just going to roll your stealth checks normally.
Great, thank God, because that's too much for me.
Yeah. So you can take an action and dash in. Go ahead and make me a stealth check.
Oh my God.
Oh, this could have been so good.
I don't want to tell anybody what to do, but Lambeau, I gave you inspiration earlier, and you can give that to other players if you want.
I will do that.
How did I get a natural 1? I might. 10.
Oh. Oh, so good. Oh, so good. All right, so you can re-roll Zenda, because...
I like to think Lambeau, like, Zinda has been doing the paper play, and Lambeau's just kind of like, wait, you're headed towards it. No.
No.
No! That's how it's
Yes, you almost tipped over a big stack of, like, supply crates.
Right. You literally stopped me, like, mid-trip. Like, I was like...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. A 19 is now serviceable, yes. Okay, so you creep in very quietly. What you see, big circular chamber, a fire sort of in the center. You can see up in the ceiling there's a little hole in the top of the ceiling to sort of let the smoke out, although it is still pretty smoky in here. You see... What do you see? Hang on a second. So, you see the following creatures. You see 2 wolves sort of just lying down on the ground next to the fire. Clearly not asleep, but sort of relaxing at this point. You see one human female who is standing in the back of the room in front of a row of cages. And she's standing in particular in front of one that you can see contains Minnie Faye. The other 2 cages on either side of Minnie Faye are also holding people. Minnie Faye does not appear to be chained inside the cage, but the other 2 humans do. Make me a wisdom perception check before I tell you too much more yet.
10.
Okay. You also see in this room, off to one side, sort of on the far side of the cages, is a 3rd wolf lying on the ground. Oh, no, sorry, on either side of the rows of cages. So next to the 2 that are not Minnie Faye's cages, right? Because it's like cage, Minnie Faye's cage, cage. And on either side of that are 2 more wolves. One of them is lying down, and one of them is standing up and sort of pacing restlessly. Other than that, there are crates and barrels and supply type things sort of all around the room that you notice. But just from your first brief entrance into the room, that's what you see. So, you moved and bonus action dashed. You have an action if you would like.
First, I'm thinking very hard.
Okay.
There's a big circular room. There's a bunch of wolves in here. There's like... She ducks and hides, forgetting that she's invisible. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. There's a fire. There are extra cages in here. She's in a cage. She's not chained. There are 2 other people in chains, in cages, and some woman just standing there. And I decide that I'm gonna go check out to see. Do I wanna? No, I don't wanna do that. I'm gonna go check to see if Minnie Faye is okay.
Okay, so you can move over towards the cages. You hurry over there. Make me another dexterity stealth check, please.
Dexterity.
As you're moving around the room.
Got it.
I should really know their passive perceptions, shouldn't I? That would really help.
22.
All right, so not that high, so it's fine. All right. So you get over to the cage. She's unconscious, but she's breathing. She looks okay. You notice she's got a bit of a bruise forming sort of on her right temple. So it looks like she got knocked out. Doesn't look like she has any like open wounds or anything at this point.
Okay. Can I get close enough to the woman without alerting her that I'm there to see if she has any sort of key or keys?
Ah, good,
like...
yes. She does. She has a ring of them on her belt.
I'm gonna try to get them off.
Okay. So this is your 3rd round in there, the 4th round of the spell, and I'm gonna need you to make me a sleight of hand check, please. Dexterity sleight of hand.
There it is. Oh,
which I also think you're quite good at, so.
Come on. Big money, no whammies. 18.
So you are able to grab, and the keys begin to jingle, and you sort of grab them to muffle their sound, and you slide them off, and you have a ring of keys in your possession now.
Okay. So I say back to the group, or think back to the group. Okay, I've got the keys for the cages. Should I come back to you and we all go in together, or do you want me to kill one of these guys while I'm still invisible? Any takers?
That's an excellent question.
I'm so glad you think so.
So basically, are you guys ready to attack if things go south for me?
Yes.
Great.
Okay. So you have the keys.
Okay, I'm gonna start moving back. Okay, so in the space, so closest to the entrance where they're all waiting, the closest animal, or closest animals or dangers, I should say, are the two wolves by the fire.
Correct.
Great. Then I would like to. Are they pretty big wolves?
I mean, they're like beefy wolves, but they're normal, like they're normal medium-sized wolves. They just like look particularly well fed. Do you know what I mean?
Great. Then I would like to go up to. Oh, are they close by? Like, can I double?
You can get to them in a move on this next turn.
I was going to say, can I double dagger it and try to kill them both at the same time? Like, are they close to each other?
Oh, I sort of love that. So you would basically like, you know what? I love that visual. So yes, they are. They happen to be laying with their heads very close together because I love that.
Perfect. Then I would like to move to them and do a neat knife trick and double stab them with my daggers.
Holy gods. Okay, let's have, we'll start with your main hand dagger. So you're going to roll your attack with, now, I will say, you told me that you poured the oil on the rapier, which is fine. It just means that this isn't a +1 weapon right now.
Right, no, because I can only do the double
with the daggers. Correct, which is totally fine. Okay.
As many as possible with rapier.
Okay, so you're gonna roll with advantage this attack for your dagger.
For my dagger, so I do.
You can either do 1d20 plus 7 twice, or you can do 2d20 plus 7, and we'll just know that we're going to pull out whichever the higher d20 was.
Great, let's do that. 2d20 plus 7, thank you. What's the most efficient way to do this?
Ah!
I didn't hit the plus 7.
It's okay, but a 7 plus 7 actually does... A 7 plus 7 still hits the wolf. Okay, so the other fun... Well, okay, go ahead and roll it again, 2d20 again for your offhand attack for the other wolf. Before we roll damage, because this is badass.
Ooh, that was
13
better.
plus 7, non-natural 20. Okay, so they both hit. So, where are you? I've lost your... Okay. So, on one of these wolves, you also get your sneak attack, because you can sneak attack once per round. So, on one of the damages, you're going to be rolling 1d4 plus... 5, 7, 4d6, and the other one you're just rolling a d4. So
1d4 plus 2d6, you said?
4d6.
Oh, 4d6. Boom, 22.
Okay,
what
so
was the other one?
The other one's just 1d4, and we'll say that you did that on your offhand, because I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, so 1d4 plus 4. 4, yes.
Plus 4?
Yep.
Check.
Okay, so, all right, so you flip your daggers into your hands and just down into them. One of them, the one on your right, you just happen to get directly into the base of the spine and just sever the connection with the spinal column with one fell swoop. And without making a sound, the wolf just sort of goes limp. And you barely even notice that anything happened to it if you don't spot the blood coming out of the back of its neck. The other one, you get a good a good hit on, but like maybe it smelled you or something in that moment right before, so it turns its head ever so slightly. So you do you tear off one of its ears with your dagger, but it still is in fact alive, and it yelps out in pain, which alerts the others in the room, though they still cannot see you because with greater invisibility, attacking does not make you come out of invisibility. Now, my question is for Merrick and Lambeau. You hear the wolf yelp and cry out, and the other wolves start to bark, and the person start yelling. Are you going to get involved now, knowing that Zenda is likely not fully compromised yet?
yes, we are going to get involved now because they don't know Zenda's there, but they know the wolf reacts to something. Therefore, we, the Fraction faction, shall burst into the room, and I say we, Lambeau, so we.
The royal we, perhaps.
Sherlock, we're on to you.
Yes! Merrick, are you gonna join? Does the catchphrase stir you to action?
Begrudgingly.
I love it.
Distraction.
I love it.
Walk in.
I love it. Okay, let's get one more initiative roll real quick then. I love everything about this.
Knock, knock. Where's my murder sock?
Yeah, it's so fast.
I'm sorry, my murder sock?
Yes.
All right, still fast, Lambeau. Zephyr, however, significantly slower.
I got a 21 initiative.
Oh, do I need to roll?
21 for Merrick. Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, those have got to go.
12.
Zenda got a 12. That's fine. She's very excited about what's happening. That's an 18. Just rolling for them real quick. Excellent. It's a 4. And 13. All right. All right, so Merrick, you hear this happening. Lambeau, knock, knock, it's time to Sherlock. You are up first, however, Merrick. Lambeau needed that extra moment to say the catchphrase.
So I burst in and I see Lady standing there.
Lady on the far end of the room in front of the cages, still sort of looking around, looking very confused.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and second level witch bolt her.
Oh, shit. All right, yep. You have to move into the room a little bit towards the fire and the wolf in order to be, because it's 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. It's not a problem. You can do it, but you'll just have to move in a little
open
bit.
the door, says not trying to show like Merrick's like you're taking too long and pushes her out of the way and moves forward.
It's a cave. There's not a door per se, but yes.
There's a door now. We just recreated it.
Okay. You know what? Absolutely. I love that. Yes. There was a shitty ass makeshift door that like doesn't have hinges. It's just sort of sitting in between the walls of the tunnel. It's great.
Dramatic effect. Absolutely.
And Merrick said you're taking too long. That is a 21 to hit.
20. Oh, yes, that will do.
And I roll 2d12.
You do. Oh, so second level witch bolt.
Yes.
You did say that. I just wasn't.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Thanks, I did say that actually. That's a total of 15 lightning damage.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Roars in anger and pain as we go to Lambeau, who has just been unceremoniously shoved to the side.
Just like time to show we're on to you. That was rude, Merrick. Now back to you, and she's going to cast, because some of the wolves, are they near the woman or no? I can't remember from the layout.
So the woman is in front of the center cage where Minnie Faye is. 2 of the wolves are on either side of the outer cages, so they're like maybe 10 feet away from her.
Okay, she's going to cast slow then to catch the wolves and
20-foot cube, right? That'll do.
yes, 20-foot cube.
Yeah, that'll do. All right, so wisdom saves for the 3 of them. We will start with this one. I'm going to roll them individually. Oh, nope, just that. Okay, that's a 2 for wolf number 1, a 4 for wolf number 2. It's going well. These are the rolls I'm more accustomed to doing on Roll20. And a 3 from the woman. So they are all slowed.
Yep.
All right. Nicely done. You see the little molasses-colored come down. I love it. Anything else, Lambeau?
No, that's action. No, I'm fine where I am.
Okay. That wolf that has a dagger, an invisible dagger coming out of it, is not super pleased about what's going on. However, seeing Merrick, it's going to go after the first thing that it can see, since it can't see Zenda. So it's going to charge after Merrick. Now, Zenda, you do have your daggers in your hand, and it's moving out of your reach. So if you would like to take an attack of opportunity, you can do that.
Please do.
Yes, I would like to do
All right, go ahead and roll an attack roll with advantage again.
advantage. Should I still use my? Can I switch to my rapier? Since
Not right now, because this is just a reaction. So what happens is when an enemy moves out of your reach, your weapon reach, without like doing it carefully, you get a free attack on them. But it's called your reaction, so you just got to use whatever's in hand.
Got it. So sorry, since I was paying attention to that, what am I rolling?
Advantage dagger attack, because you are still invisible.
Plus 7.
Mm-hmm. 2d20. That will do, well, it's a 26 actually, because it's 19 plus 7. Yeah, because you put plus and. I love it.
Great, perfect.
So yes, the 26 absolutely hits. And if you would like to roll the damage, you are welcome to. But this he's gonna die.
There's really no point.
Yeah. So you just, as it turns around, you haven't actually taken your dagger out of its neck, and it just sort of finishes the severing, and the wolf falls. Yes. All right. Next up are the two slowed wolves. On the far side of the cages, who howl and begin to flow and change and stand up on two legs as their claws extend and their eyes become bright with humanoid intelligence. And standing on 2 feet are these horrible-looking werewolf hybrid creatures. And they are going to very slowly, because their speed is halved, is that correct? So they're going to very slowly... I can't hear you, my love.
Their speed is half, and they can take one action, like, so they can attack or move, essentially.
They can attack or move, or they can action or bonus action.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. Let me see. It can use... On its turn, it can use either an action or a bonus action,
but not both. And it can only take one attack. Yeah.
One of those two.
Okay, so it took its action. They both took their action to shape change into their hybrid form, and they are very slowly moving 15 feet forward, which will get them, a little bit past the woman who is standing there. They do have... Nah, they don't have weapons. But they are growling menacingly. Zenda, you are up.
Okay, so I'm still invisible, correct?
You are still invisible.
Thank God. All right, since they can't see me.
Correct.
And I no longer feel bad that I killed the other 2 wolves since they're monsters. Let me go after whichever one's closest to... Are they both the same distance?
They're both the same distance, yeah.
Great. Then let me just go after the one.
After one of them.
Left. So
Okay.
After one.
Okay. Keeping your daggers out, switching your... Because you can switch your weapon now if you would like, since it's your turn.
Rapier.
Rapier. All right. All right.
Oops. So dash and stab.
Oops.
Stab.
All right. Yes. So you run over. Go ahead and make a rapier attack. Now this is your +1 rapier, so it's gonna be +8 instead of +7, and you can make it with advantage because you're still invisible.
Yes. Oh, and then with advantage. Let me get that. 2d20. Bam. 36.
19. No. 27. You remember you only take the higher of the d20.
Oh God. I was only looking at the bottom.
Yes, I know.
Got it.
I mean, still, a 27 ain't nothing to sneeze at. You hit. And you had advantage, so you get your sneak attack, so that's 1d8 plus 4d6 plus 5.
1d8 plus 4d6 plus 5.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. 30 points of damage as you just shove that rapier up into its neck, barely missing an important artery, but just taking a chunk out of it. Anything else on your turn, Zenda?
I mean, I know how to count, but I can use a sword. That's it. That's all I got.
It's true. I love it. Zephyr is up. Goodness, I forgot that I have to deal with Zephyr. So let's see. Interesting spell list. So I think Zephyr is going to take his rapier and probably go after the same one, a different one, the woman. What do you want him to go to?
Same one.
Same one?
These have clearly signaled their intent to attack where the woman has not.
Great, got it. All right. So he will go up to that same one with his magicked up rapier. And absolutely hit for not nearly as much damage, but still a goodly bit of damage. Stabbing on the other side of the wolf, who is now thoroughly confused and upset. The werewolf, I should say, thoroughly confused and upset. And next up is the woman, and the woman is going to stumble backwards from Zenda and Zephyr. So Zenda, you have taken your turn, so you have your reaction back. She has moved out of your reach if you would like to take an attack of opportunity against her.
No, I'm still not entirely sure that she's a hostile. No.
Make me a wisdom insight check, please, Zenda.
Wisdom insight check.
13. She's faking. She's trying to pretend to be afraid and backpedal from you. She's faking. She's pissed.
Oh. Can I still get her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for her.
Go for her.
Am I still invisible?
Yeah.
Rapier. So let's do the rapier. Let's get her. +8. Do I do the 2?
Uh-huh.
I'm still finished. One of these days I'm gonna actually know everything.
You know. 13 plus 8 is 21. That hits. 1d8 plus 4d6 plus 5.
Did you say 1d8 plus 46?
Uh-huh. 4d6, not
4d6.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like, why? 4d6 plus 5. I was like, the hell does that number mean?
We've all made that mistake.
Oh,
though.
oh, absolutely.
It's like, I don't know what that means. 24.
All right. So and she screams out. She's pissed. And she is going to... she also begins to change, but her transformation is different. Her snout grows forward and tusks begin to grow out of her mouth, and very quickly she becomes this strange hybrid of a boar and a human, and she is angry. She has backed up, excuse me, and she runs directly for well, I think she thinks Zephyr stabbed her because she can't see you, Zenda. So she's gonna charge for Zephyr, and here turn on a team turn. Okay, and try and gore him with her tusks. Sorry, Zephyr. I don't think that hits. That does not hit. So he manages to turn her goring tusks aside. She is still going to try and pull a maw.
Did she get slowed too, though? So
Oh, she did. Oh, so that's right. So she can't do this. So she just changes. You are correct. So she just moved back. She's still back there, and she has changed, but she has not attacked yet. She's pawing the ground like she's ready to come after you, which of course we will see her do next week, because that's where we're going to leave it for this week. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Thank you all for playing so very much today. This was very fun. We have moved away from Frankenstein's monster and gotten into the Wolfman portion of our story. So welcome to Where Oh Where. Anyway, thanks so much for... Oh, don't even! Pun master, Alan. Thanks so much for hanging out. Let's go around and let everybody know who we are, who we played, where we can find you on social media if that is of interest to you, and one particularly enjoyable moment that you had today during the game. We will go in reverse order from the way we started out at the beginning, which means we start with Emily.
I'm Emily Madigan. I played Zenda. You can follow me on Instagram at EmilyAds. I don't really do anything other than Instagram because I'm boring.
Very not true, but go on.
My favorite moment, I think I'm glad that I took the chance on the double dagger moment and killing the thing. That felt badass.
It was real badass.
Happened. Also liked dancing and losing a turn of invisibility because I didn't know that the dancing would ruin that.
100%. 100%. I love it. Going around to Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I play Merrick. I didn't think about that for too long. You can find me on Twitter at super_Queero. My big other thing is I'm on the Prison Palace podcast, an LGBTQ plus, family friendly, or all ages D&D show where I play a nice person.
What must it be like to play family-friendly D&D? I can't remember the last time I played D&D without cursing.
It's actually pretty fun.
I bet it is.
There's more goofs. And my favorite part was, I think... Calm down, dogs. Jeez. My favorite part was when Minnie Faye just got yeeted by a wolf. I was just like, oh, okay, there's a wolf now.
What does that word mean? It doesn't matter. Alicia!
To get yeeted?
Yeah. Oh, eated.
Yeet.
That's what I thought you said. That word doesn't mean anything, Alicia.
I'm Alicia, NNG98 on Twitter. You can follow me there. I part of the Saturday stream for charity. I normally tweet it out. Tall Squall's channel. Good stuff. My favorite part was honestly the whole invisible segment too. That was great. Just I'm like, I'm invisible. Would you please go in the room? Go.
Oh!
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am Eugenio, also known as your friendly neighborhood Dungeon Master DM Jazzy Hands. You can follow me on Twitter at DM Jazzy Hands. I am the DM also for the actual play podcast, The Last Refuge. We just hit our 2-year anniversary. You can follow us on Twitter at DND Last Refuge. We got fun stuff going on over there this summer. You can find me tonight on the Variant Roles channel playing in a game set in Ravnica. You can find me on Fridays on the Encounter Roleplay channel playing in a game also set in Greyhawk called Basilica of the Cudgel. And you can find me on Sunday nights at Gratuitous RP DMing the Half-Rate Heroes. Got about 3 or 4 weeks left in my summer stream extravaganza. Once we hit the end of August, I will be taking a little step back, heading just back to the podcast, because Emily and I are going out west to do a little show together, which we're very excited about, but means I will have less time for streaming for a few months. So find me while you can. Want to really quickly once more thank everybody who supports the channel. Thank you so much to those of you who subscribe to the Greyhawk channel, either here on Twitch or on our Patreon, patreon.com/the Greyhawk channel. Appreciate everything that you do support us. Thank you so much to Roll20, who is officially supports the Greyhawk channel. You can check out their services at roll20.net. Thanks to Tabletop Loot. Thanks to Heroic Maps, our map sponsor. Thanks to Cantrip Candles and Devin Rue. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed this week. We will be back next week for some more antics here in Brenton with the Fraction faction. Also, tonight at 8 o'clock, if you're not going to be over with me at Variant Roles, you should check out Gnome Show here, The Grove, where we meet here on the Greyhawk channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That, I think, is all I've got for you. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. Happy gaming, y'all.
Bye. Stay hydrated.